This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And we got lots to talk about today. Good Thursday afternoon. Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti. Our program being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. Paisan cuisine at its best for almost 5 decades. Joe, along with the family, and all of the great staff have brought us and still continue to bring us the best in Paisan cuisine. Pizzas, strombolis, calzones, and of course their delicious sandwiches. That's just to mention just 4 things. There is a menu board that you need to look and select from when you head into Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. I will tell you, fresh and delicious. Those are the 2 key words to remember always about Mondello's Pizzeria. First Year Bank over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, offering some great annual percentage rates right now on CDs. And also, too, they are co-sponsors of the End to Alzheimer's Walk coming up. That will be on September 28th. That'll be in Lions Park in the South Picnic area. Again, thank you to First Year Bank, co-sponsoring the Alzheimer's Association. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises, again, serving our community needs. And I'm telling you, we are glad that Dick Lennox has founded this company and passed on the tradition to his daughter, Heather, because, again, we need Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Medicap Pharmacy over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. They're open Monday through Saturday, convenient drive-through outside, or do your business inside and chat with Gene and the great staff over there at Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, again, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards and Powers Field. You're home right now for mac and cheese on the menu. And again, for a limited time, you're invited to try their frosted caramel coffee. Serving up 3 squares, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Yes, their breakfast absolutely delicious to go along with all of the great lunches and dinners that are served. Dine inside or use a convenient drive-thru. 2 convenient drive-thrus for you at Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank ×2 over on Vandehigh and at the corner of College and Pershing, offering all of the banking services you come to expect from Platte Valley Bank and even a little bit more. Check out everything that's on the menu from Platte Valley Bank. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where again they have for you the Sportage, the 2020 Sportage. They have for you the 2020 Soul, the 2020 Telluride. Yeah, there's a common theme. The 20s are arriving, and what's left on the lot, like 19s, for example, Soul, well, they need to go right now. And again, not that we're trying to push them out the door, but we're offering you some great deals, AJ and the crew over at Key of Cheyenne. So what 19s are left on the lot, you are going to save some big bucks today. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, or maybe you want a 2020. That's up to you. Taco John's of Cheyenne, where it's 6-pack and a pound night. Why? It's Thursday night. Why? Thursday night football. So you don't want to cook. You want to get 6 beefy tacos, whether it's soft shell, hard shell, a pound of potato olays, and you're good to go for the entire ball game. Now, on the South Greeley side, you can catch the food truck over in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot. Downtown on KRAE Avenue. North side over on Yellowstone. Here, down on Del Range, you go to Del Range and Ridge, and you move a block over, and you'll find our good friend Diane over at Diane Tafoya over at Ridge and Pershing. So, again, many locations of Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we also want to remind everybody that our scoreboard is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. So we'll go first to Nick
Looking at Friday's action for LCCC Athletics, we'll start on the men's and women's soccer side of things as both teams will be up in Powell, at least taking on the Northwest College. Trappers and Lady Trappers coming up this Friday. Women will be up first as they will have their contest at 1 o'clock, and right behind them, again, as soon as that game wraps up, a tentative start time for the men at 3 o'clock. Also, to Friday's action in Torrington, Wyoming, where LCCC volleyball competing in the Wyoming-Nebraska tournament. They will see Northeastern Junior College. That will be an 8 o'clock start time. 8 a.m. is when that will start coming up tomorrow. And then after that game, 6 p.m., still in Torrington, Wyoming, LCCC will be taking on Colorado Northwestern Community College. So that's what's LCCC kind of athletics, what they have going coming up tomorrow, and also too here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and also too at least video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have Cheyenne South play host to Cheyenne East. Kickoff 6 o'clock. Pregame here, tentative 5:20-ish. Again, as we'll have all the interviews and everything, all those good elements for you to tune in for on our pregame show. Again, set for around 5:20 here on 1480 KRAE. So looking forward to it. Week 3, game number 4 here in 2019.
Major League Baseball matinee performances. Brewers are leading the Padres bottom of the third inning 1-0. Braves have defeated the Phillies today 5-4 in Cumberland, Georgia. Mariners over the Pirates at PNC 6-5. Giants finally lose to the Red Sox on getaway day 5-4 after awarding Bruce Bochy his 2000 career win last night. He is the 11th Major League Baseball manager to do so, win 2,000 games. Games getting underway when we are on the air still. Angels-Yankees again from the Bronx. 5 o'clock games, Blue Jays at the Orioles, Tigers at the Indians. Cardinals will face the Cubs at Wrigley. Talk about a huge series. There it is this weekend. Royals and the Twins will be at Target Field at 5:40. And from the National Football League tonight, Tennessee will take on Jacksonville. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
All right, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one.
Today, are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Get the ultimate six-pack. With a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. 6 seasoned beef tacos and a pound of potato olays. Get them gains. A deal this good means you'll never want to skip six-pack and a pound day. Craver Savers. Crunching. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
6 seasoned beef tacos and a whole pound of potato olays for just $11.99. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 79. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 50. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 76. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 43.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti and Nick Proetti. We bring on our first very special guest. He is Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. Pat, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Last time we talked, let me see if I can capsulize it. The Rockies had a very slow start. Rockies got before the All-Star break. They started to make a move in contention for that wild card presence. After the All-Star break, everything just fell apart. The wheels came off. Is that pretty much a nutshell capsulization of the Rocks?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, it's been a very dismal. I think last time we talked, everything has gone downhill.
You know, it's interesting. Nick and myself ended up going to the double dip when the Giants were in town, where the Giants had batting practice against I do believe that was Marquez.
Yeah, Marquez. Yeah, so again, it was pretty much, again, all home runs, double-digit figures. You almost figured that the 49ers
what I'm driving at, Pat, it seemed like that series against the Giants at Coors Field, that pretty much made them the captain of the Titanic. I mean, everything has just gone downhill since that series, especially.
Well, you said it. I mean, there's just, I mean, it's been one of those seasons. I mean, you look at it, and it was kind of a season on assumptions. You come in and you expect growth out of Freeland and Marquez and some of your pitchers, and you just didn't get it. The bullpen was not good. It's just, you wanted to see progression, but you got regression, and now you're in a quandary now because the guys you're counting on, you don't know if you can count on, and you hope you can count on them next year. But some moves have to be made. You got to bring in a frontline starter. You need something to. You need a guy you can count on, a guy that you can get out of when Bumgarner was at his best, it didn't matter what kind of slump you were in, he's going to get you out of it. You're a Kershaw, just some. I mean, I know they don't grow on trees, obviously, but you need a stud.
Well, and you look at the big three for the Rockies and the big money. Well, he's not making the big money yet, but he will be. But Arenado signs the big deal. Usually, when we got guys doing that, they kind of fall off. No, not Nolan. He was actually a little better. Charlie Blackmon. He's making some big bucks. He's well worth the money. Story obviously is going to be worth the money for Colorado, so I call them the big three. And as you mentioned, pitching seemed to be just a bevy of problems from the starters to the bullpen. Is it time for Bud Black to tell Steve Foster, "Thank you very much. We need to move in another direction"?
Well, there's going to be some kind of fall guy, and Steve Foster could be on that trajectory. But it's funny because there's a team that went to 2 straight playoffs for the first time in franchise history. But as you know, in baseball, there's no grace period. When you fall, you fall, and they fell hard this year, and you got to do something. And I like the fact that they're trying to. They have an eye on next year, what they want to do. I actually like Trevor Story batting leadoff. I think that's a good move, and putting Charlie in the 2-hole or whoever you want to put there. But they're trying some different things. I mean, you're seeing what Peter Lambert has. You're trying something. There's some good pieces. It's just it all starts with the pitching. You know that, and you can't have. I remember that Padres series when they were here and they scored like 5 million runs. I mean that can't happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, something to at least talk about, something that was kind of flirted around trade deadline for the Colorado Rockies, and one name that he mentioned was Charlie Blackmon. Now, a guy that was entertained, rumors were swirling now. But could he, as again, with the Rockies well below 500, they need to address pitching, get some studs out there in Colorado, whether it is bolstering that bullpen, finding a big-name starter to at least complement that offense for the Colorado Rockies. Could that be a possibility still in the offseason that the Rockies find a way to put Charlie Blackmon out there on the market to see if they could get that big-name starter to come to Colorado with a few other extra pieces on that pitching side?
Well, I guess it depends on personally. Yeah, everything's on the table. First of all, but it depends on how teams view Charlie Blackmon. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, he's a fantastic player. He's still got lots left, and he can hit. But do people view him as a Coors creation? And that's the problem: is how much you get back in return for a guy if you view him as a Coors product. I don't view him that way, but I'm just saying that it depends. I like the development of Hilliard. He's coming on. He could figure in your long-term plans, and Dahl will be back. What are you gonna do with him? So there's options. I mean, Tapia, he made some good improvements this year. So you could move Charlie and get, if you could get that starter or that bullpen help, and hopefully you put Dahl out there and you're fine.
I like how you say a Coors Field creation. I think DJ LeMahieu proved everybody that. Yeah, he was a Coors Field creation, but he can play elsewhere too.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, I mean, when you can hit, right? I mean, that's the misnomer Coors Field creation because, well, you're going to play with ballpark strength. If you're like DJ LeMahieu, I mean, he'll slap the ball all over the park, and and he's doing that in New York, and that kind of game transfers. With Charlie, he's a gap hitter. He likes to go to the right side, and he'll try to shoot it through there. That's why they shift over there, and. Charlie's he's a professional hitter. These guys are professional hitters, so he'd be fine.
Let me ask you this question, and I've said this numerous times, and I even said it before the winter meetings. I said, Monfort has got to give the checkbook over to Bridich. Now, after what has happened with the Rockies' disastrous bullpen, the moves that Bridich is going to be on the hook for this one. Does Charlie tighten the belt? What do you think is going to happen when we get done with the season and they go to winter meetings?
Well, you open the checkbook and you have one of your worst seasons ever. I mean, there's no correlation. The money spent does not equal the amount of wins you got. If I'm Dick, I'm cautious. I'm cautious opening my purse strings. But the thing with the Rockies is. What Bridich is, I mean, just these free agents just are not, I mean, Wade Davis was good last year. This year, I don't know what's going on with him. You watch Ottavino leave, and he's having a really good season. You watch LeMahieu leave, which I get because you had to see what Brendan Rodgers was. It's funny because everybody wanted LeMahieu, and I get that, but at some point you got to see what Brendan Rodgers is, and you had glimpse, and maybe he'll be up next year. McMahon has developed into a great, a really, a powerful second baseman. I mean, you would have gotten that with LeMahieu here. I mean, there's all these moves that just kind of influence each other. But sometimes you got to see what you have, and now they know, and now you go forward knowing that.
The only option for the Rockies at this point in time, if they're going to at least kibosh on the at least spending, is kind of take a page out of the Oakland A's, where limited spending is kind of proved to be wins, and also to at least as it's showing that the A's could be playoff bound here in 2019. But looking towards 2020 and just kind of basically saying, hey, 2019 it's a wash, for the Colorado Rockies. If the Rockies stand pat, we got basically, again, the same starter, same bullpen. You got your offense kind of locked up in there. It won't say even the staff that Bud Black has under him, whether it's hitting coaches or pitching coaches. Was this just a freak year for the Colorado Rockies? Or if this team stands pat going into 2020, we could see a similar Rockies team out there next season?
Well, it's funny because you could have said that last year, and they stood pat and they regressed. So if I'm the Rockies, I am not going to let history repeat itself again. I'm gonna make some moves. I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna do whatever I can. If Charlie Blackmon can get you something, I'm gonna explore that. If Wade Davis can get you something, which he won't because his salary's too high, but if someone's out there and you have to eat some money, I'm gonna explore that. Nothing's off the table. I mean, even if someone, how about this? I mean, hypothetically, what happens if someone came to you with a wow offer for Nolan Arenado? Would you entertain it? I mean, at this point, anything's on the table. It's got to be, because you're a mess right now.
Yeah, especially in that bullpen, the Shaws of the world, the McGees of the world, they may not be any takers, and they might end up the way Mike Dunn did. They might get their unconditional release.
Hey, it could happen. And then Oberg, that was an unfortunate blow to the team. I mean, he was having a great year.
Yeah, and that was good to see. Hey, I want to take you I-25 south. We'll go about a couple 3 miles down the road. We'll go to Empower Field at Mile High, and obviously not the start that the Broncos wanted to have. 0-2 right now in the milk carton is their offense. Help.
Well, how about their pass rush? How about their
the lack of sacks, I should say, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of milk cartons with a lot of pictures on it right now because they're missing.
Well, let's address the offense though, because again, it is what it is. It's not putting points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, you have 27 first downs against the Bears. You score 14 points. That's a statistical anomaly. I mean, you have that many first downs. You got it. It's got to correlate into points. That was a bad interception Flacco had deep in the Bears territory late in the game. I don't know. I mean, Philip Lindsay doesn't look like Philip Lindsay. Royce Freeman, maybe he gets a more steady diet this week at Green Bay. Emmanuel Sanders looked great. Emmanuel Sanders has been better than advertised. I didn't think he looked this good this early. He looks great. He's fully recovered from that ankle/Achilles injury. It's just, and Flacco is consistent and solid. It's just. I mean, you're getting inconsistent line play. I mean, Garrett Bowles continues to get holding calls. You're getting inconsistent run game, and you need someone else. I mean, Courtney had a nice little game, but you just need something else to step. Noah Fant. I mean, I'd like to see more out of him.
In moving away from the offensive side for the Denver Broncos, defensive side where, hey, head coach Vic Fangio, known for his defense, again, defensive-minded head coach. But so far, as we talked about and alluded to, hey, sacks have not been there. Defense kind of held these teams strong, especially at least Sunday, keeping the Bears kind of, at least that offense, quiet down. But it's still a defense that most Bronco fans are not too happy with. But is this a work in progress? Will we see that, at least Denver defense, that Vic Fangio defense, come at a point in time in this 2019 season?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's funny because they're adjusting on the fly. They're missing two big pieces. I mean, Todd Davis, an inside linebacker, is a big loss. He had to play the first 2 games, and you can tell. I'm not saying he's the answer because, I mean, there's outside of Von Miller or Chris Harris, there's no one that's an answer. And the other thing you're listening, I mean, Bryce Callahan, cornerback, your defensive back, if he could play, and then you had Yadam coming off, playing the nickel or something, and you're better. I mean, it's just you're missing 2 key pieces that you couldn't miss, and maybe they get back this week. Todd Davis, I'm not sure. And everybody who's had a calf knows that you feel great until you don't feel great. And so I don't know what you're going to get out of him, but you go 0-3. You're done in the NFL. It's very, very rare as a team that comes back from 0-3 deficit.
Well, and something that I want to talk with you as well, too, Pat, of something that came out preseason that USA Today does, of kind of entertaining, as a lot of pundits do, a lot of talking heads do, of the predictions for this season, especially for the Denver Broncos, where I do believe, at least going back about a couple months ago, where USA Today had them at winning 4 games, if not 5, again, well below 500, a team that was not expected to do much this season. Was that a fair assessment by USA Today after seeing the first 2 contests here for the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, it's shaping up to be. I mean, it's spot on. I mean, they're just, I don't know. It's hard because that game Sunday was such a fluke. Everything about it was such a fluke. It was unreal to watch that thing unfold. It was like anything. I mean, it was like anything that could happen would happen. I mean, from the 3, basically 3 tries and an extra point to 31 seconds, the Bears driving down to getting that timeout to kicking a 53-yard field goal. It was just craziness. So, part of me is like, yeah, they're 0-2 and 0-3 is disastrous. But part of me is like, I mean, I know a lot of teams can do this, but I mean, they were 1 second away from being 1-1. I mean, and no one's panicking.
We're talking Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. I want to keep it real quick. I want to go back, especially on the Broncos. I want to go back to Joe Flacco. Made a good point. And again, Flacco's numbers are not bad to start with, but everybody knocks the offensive line. But I also think too, we had the luxury years past that we had some quarterbacks that were mobile that would not just, stay flush in the pocket, even out of the gun. We'll go to Elway. I mean, even Jake Plummer. We'll go back, that type. Manning in the tail end of his career still had a little bit of mobility, but Flacco he stands right, Pat, in the pocket, and he has no mobility.
Yeah, he's a prototypical throw passer. I mean, he's like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning didn't move. They're not Tim Tebow. But the thing is to me, I'm just what's shocking to me is the lack of downhill presence. I mean, outside of maybe one pass from Sanders, have you seen much of a downhill passing game? I mean, you're not in the line. The safeties are cheating at the line of scrimmage because there's no fear of, them throwing deep, and then you have Philip Lindsay is just can't get anything going. I'd like to see a couple more shots downfield and more swing passes to Philip Lindsay. That's what I would dial up if I was the Broncos offense.
Will we see a change at the QB position here this season, or Flacco goes all the way?
It depends on Drew Lock's thumb, obviously, and it depends on the short answer, yes. I think so. I mean, if everything's trending this way, yes. By week 8, you'll see Drew Lock in there. You got it just to see what he's got.
Hey, you know what? I want to thank you for your time because I know your time is precious, and we thank you very much. But I got one last thing to ask you, Pat. We'll go to college football because I know we might run into you at Canvas Stadium, or we might even see you up in Laramie. But the point is, on our front range teams, Falcons, the Buffaloes. Well, the Buffaloes got beat by the Falcons, so we'll eliminate them. But in the Mountain West, Falcons, Cowboys. I don't know if there's any hope for the Rams, but are the Falcons for real?
They're for real. No, they're 100% for real. I was saying at the beginning of the season, I went to a couple practices, talked to them, 10-win team. I thought they could, if everything broke right, they could be a 10-win team. They're going to get Boise State everything they want tomorrow night. I mean, that offense is crazy enough, as you guys know, that it's just hard, and you got to attack it. You got to attack it, and then the Buffaloes kind of were passive, and the Falcons just drove right down. Donald Hammond III is a great quarterback. They have a great defense. They have a solid defense. They just have a lot of great parts. And Troy Calhoun is a fantastic coach. I just think that they're a 9/10-win team.
What about the Cowboys?
Cowboys are good. They've impressed me. I've been listening to them on the radio and just driving around, and I haven't seen them live, but I've listened on the radio, and you tell me. I mean, that Missouri one. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, the only thing they need to get is a passing game. That would be, if they had the passing game, I think this team would be one that would be winning by 20 points a game.
And then was it Idaho, or who did they just play?
The Vandals, yes.
Yeah, and it sounded like the Idaho gave them everything they wanted, though. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe they were, I don't know. I was listening to that game more, but you know what? That's what good teams do. Maybe that thing's not clicking, but they're going to find a way to win.
Hey, and final question for me as we keep on with the Mountain West and college football. Do want to address what's happening down in Fort Collins as well. What we've recently learned that at least QB Colin Hill is out for the season for the CSU Rams. A team that was, again, anticipated not to do so well in the Mountain West this season. A team that was anticipated just to squeak out one more win above New Mexico, but still finish there kind of near dead last in the Mountain West Conference. Now with this news about Colin Hill going down, being out for the rest of the season, I mean, is this it for the CSU Rams that they don't win another game this entire 2019 campaign?
They very well could. Have you ever met Colin Hill? Have you ever had a chance to talk to him?
No, we have not.
No, he's if you ever get a chance, he's a fantastic kid. He's the kind of kid you root for, and he's been through his third one. He's just a tough deal every time that knee, and it was just a fluke injury, and your heart breaks for him because I know it's have to go through that many ACL recoveries and bounce backs, but he's a strong kid, and I'm hoping he can return, and it's going to be a long year for Colorado State, and I don't know. They win somewhere along the line. They have enough that they can, but it's going to be a long year without Colin Hill.
Well, Pat, we want to thank you again for joining us. We're going to catch up with you again shortly. We got Nuggets, Avalanche getting ready to draw the curtain for the 2019-2020 season, so we're going to be talking about them. We'll have football more to talk about, all kinds of good stuff. Always fun to chat with you, Pat.
That sounds great. I'm off to Doha to cover a little World Championship track and field, so I'll be back in a month. So let me know, and I'm always jump on anytime you need me.
Sounds good. Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. We must take a time out, and we'll be right back with more after this on 1480 KRAE. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Cheyenne Regional Medical Center is now the first and only hospital in Wyoming to provide the DAT scan and Exumin medical imaging procedures. DAT scan is non-invasive and offers more accuracy when diagnosing Parkinson's disease. The Exumin tests men who have previously had prostate cancer, allowing physicians to see if a patient's prostate cancer has returned. Cheyenne Regional is committed to diagnosing patients faster so they can receive quick and accurate treatment. To see if these medical imaging procedures are right for you, please talk to your current healthcare provider.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Once again, thank you to Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writers. We had a chance to talk some baseball right out of the box of the Rocks. I want to talk baseball here while we've got a few minutes. Our next guest, Stu Courtney. He is the Packers editor for the USA Today Network. He'll be coming up here, I'd say roughly in about 10 minutes. We'll get to talk about the upcoming game this Sunday. But I do want to go with this particular baseball note, and it was fun to watch the end of it. I watched a lot of highlights today. It was great watching Yaz throw to his grandson to open up the ball game last night. But you tip your cap, which I'm wearing my Giants shirt and cap today, to one Bruce Bochy, 2,000 wins. Mm-hmm. Again, how do you liken 2,000 wins? The 3,000 hit club, 600 home runs.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, but I mean, the guys that he joins, he's only the 11th manager in Major League Baseball history to accumulate 2,000 wins.
Out of however many managers that have existed. Again, we're talking a league that's been existing for 150 years. So again, something very special what happened against Bruce Bochy of just standing the test of time, again, spending with a good amount with the Padres and now with the Giants, revitalizing that franchise. So, again, 2,000 wins, it's something where if you try to compare it, again, it's probably on the same vein of, hey, hitting 200 wins, 300 wins, or something like that. It's something that can be...
It's mind-boggling
just
thinking about it. I mean, 25 years, that's an average of 80 wins every year. And again, you have good, you have bad years. But looking at the list, the top 10 list, and unfortunately for Bruce, he's going to retire, and he will not catch number 10, which is only a handful of wins away from him. But no one, at least in my lifetime, I don't know, maybe in yours, Nick, will ever amass 3,731 wins that Connie Mack did. He skippered for, 50-some years with the Philadelphia Athletics. The legendary John McGraw is number 2 at 2,763. Did not know this, that he was number 3 on the list. Tony La Russa, 2,728 wins. That's with Oakland, Chicago, and...
but you had a lot of good years with Oakland and with St. Louis, so without a doubt it does not surprise me. Again, to break it down, you're talking about a team where we just had, the Houston Astros just amassed 100 wins so far in this season here in 2019. You're talking about a manager that would have to exist for 20 years in that team to go 20 years straight of 100 wins minimum to meet that 2,000 wins. It's something insane to think about.
Think about the guy at number 4, Bobby Cox. Look at that great stretch he had in the 90s.
With Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, and he's number 4 at 2,504 wins. Joe Torre.
All those Yankee wins,
Yankee teams that he managed. He also was with the Dodgers. Let's see, who else did he... he managed at St. Louis. I think he was also with the I think he might have been with the Braves, too. Anyway, 2,320 wins. Sparky Anderson with Detroit and, of course, the Big Red Machine in the 70s. 2,194 wins. Bucky Harris, before my time, 2,158. The legendary Joe McCarthy, 2,125. Walter Alston, the man who perfected one-year contracts with the Los Angeles Dodgers, 2,040 wins with him. And then the guy that would be next on the radar for one Bruce Bochy, but it's not going to happen because he's running out of games, Leo the Lip DeRocher, 2,008 wins.
Again, if the Giants are able to pull that off, but I think if anything,
I think the
Giants. Well, either way, the Giants are pretty much that franchise. I think that was their goal, is to get Bochy his 2,000 wins this season. They got it done, so there is that to be said. So again, history in the making of what happened. Again, too bad it wasn't in front of those fans out in Oracle, but obviously they'll have their own special when they at least have one more home series here in 2019. But again, it was historic. You had it just seemed like this whole series with the Boston Red Sox just had a whole lot of footnotes, more special moments for the Giants, if anything at all.
Absolutely, and for one, Mike Yastrzemski. Giants are, with the loss today, they're 74 and 79, so technically...
They're not eliminated.
No, but technically, if they could go on a 9-game winning streak to wrap up the season, he could pass Leo DeRocher. But again... tip of the cap, 2,000 wins, a lengthy career as both a player as well as a manager, and Bruce Bochy will step away with 3 World Series rings and probably in...
he's a Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
I mean, the call to Cooperstown is going to come very shortly.
Yeah, that's easy. He, without a doubt, even hitting this mark, without a doubt, Bruce Bochy is a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. And when we come back, we are going to chat with our next guest. He is Stu Courtney, Packers editor for the USA Today Network. We're back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1980.
Serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480krae.com.
Get the ultimate six-pack. With a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. 6 seasoned beef tacos and a pound of potato olays. Get them gains. A deal this good means you'll never want to skip six-pack and a pound day. Craver Savers.
Crunching.
Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
6 seasoned beef tacos and a whole pound of potato olays for just $11.99. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 79. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 50. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 76. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 43.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. You know, just like at Empower Field at Mile High Stadium, always a tough seat to get to see a Broncos game. It's even tougher to grab a seat at Lambeau Field. And, you know, even when times are good and times are bad, at least both these communities always come out and support their teams. We're going to bring on Stu Courtney, who's the Packers editor for the USA Today Network. Stu, I guess right out of the box, Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti, we want to ask you from my side here, Stu, new head coach Matt LaFleur and the departed Mike McCarthy. McCarthy was there for, you know, a rather lengthy time, and then the Packers brain trust said it's time for you to go. But Matt LaFleur comes in, and again, this guy is an offensive-minded head coach. Are we seeing differences already with the Packers football team?
Yeah, we certainly are. It's kind of a breath of fresh air after Mike McCarthy. He's 13 years running the team. I think they're ready for a fresh approach. Matt LaFleur, he comes from the Sean McVay coaching tree. You know, he's one of these young offensive hotshots, and he's bringing in a new offense. And it's kind of struggled so far the first couple of games. Even though they're 2-0, the offense has not done particularly well, and they think that's something that's just going to come around with time and practice. You know, they didn't. Aaron Rodgers didn't play in any of the preseason games, and nor did many of their starting players. So these kind of things take time, but the defense has carried them so far to a couple of impressive victories over Chicago and Minnesota.
Stu, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, and again, the veteran quarterback who has had some good seasons, also has had some injured seasons as well. But you know it better than I do. All I can go by are a couple of the clips that I saw where LaFleur and Rodgers may not be on the same page, but I would think overall that the two are starting to mesh.
Yeah, that's kind of overblown, I think. It's only natural that Aaron Rodgers, with his 11 years of experience, would want a little bit of a say in the offense. You know, as far as like the main difference is that LaFleur's offense, it doesn't allow for a lot of changes at the line of scrimmage, audibles, and that kind of thing, and that's what Aaron Rodgers has excelled at over the years. So they're having to work things out, and On Sunday against Minnesota, there was one exchange on the sidelines where it looked like they were kind of yelling at each other when Rodgers came off the field, but they both downplayed it afterwards. And actually, LaFleur went and sat down next to Rodgers afterwards, and they were talking about the offense. And in a way, it was kind of a healthy exchange. Whereas with McCarthy, the two of them probably would not have sat down and hashed things out. So it seems like there's good communication, and Rodgers is on board with the new offense.
Well, Stu, as you mentioned again, this Packers team so far here, 2019, 2-0. Victory last Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings, 21-16 there at Lambeau. On the road for the first contest Thursday night down in Chicago, where the Packers came away with a close one, 10-3. Now something, Stu, as you are a part of that USA Today network, and USA Today Sports do put out a projections, at least standings projections. They did for 2019. Looking at for the Green Bay Packers heading into 2019, they were predicted to be 9-7. Now, obviously, we're early into the 2019 campaign, but the Packers are 2-0 with a good possibility of starting out this season 3-0 as they take on the Denver Broncos coming up this Sunday. That prediction of 9-7. Is it a fair assessment for this Packers team here, or is it something that folks, as what you've been seeing on the football field, maybe alter a few more wins in the Green Bay, at least, favor for 2019?
That's possible. I think 9-7 is still kind of realistic when you figure that, they still have some tough games coming up. They got to play after Denver. They play Thursday night against Philadelphia. The Eagles are awfully good, and then they go on the road to play the Cowboys, who are undefeated. So that could be a couple of losses right there. They still have to go to Kansas City. They got to go to play the Chargers on the road. Most of their tough road games come late in the season. So, they won't have maybe the same frozen tundra advantage that they would have if their games had been if their home games had been in December. They play a lot of early home games, so they may not have that weather advantage. But I think 9-7 is still realistic for this team, and maybe 10-6. But a playoff berth could be quite reachable, especially considering they've opened with two victories over division opponents in Chicago and Minnesota.
It's interesting with draft picks. A first rounder or maybe a second rounder, and you're expecting big things out of them, then usually you get that diamond in the rough middle round pick, for example, like the 5th round. And the Packers seem to have picked up somebody that might be one of those sleepers, but obviously the Packers saw something that we didn't. One Aaron Jones from UTEP thus far, toting the rock, not doing too bad.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He really is. He's got tremendous burst as a running back, a great change of direction. He's perfect for Matt LaFleur's offense in that they run the outside. It's an outside zone offense, which means that they kind of run outside the tackles, and it hinges on having a strong first step and kind of bursting through the hole. The key with Aaron Jones is being healthy. He was injured in college at UTEP, and then he's been injured in each of the last 2 seasons. He's missed, I think, 4 games each year with knee or leg injuries. So the big question here is how much can they use him? They don't want to wear him down by using him too much in the early games. But when they don't use him, the fans clamor and say where is he? Because the offense doesn't function as well when he's on the bench.
We want to shift focus to this, at least Sunday's contest between Denver and the Green Bay Packers. It will be at least 11 a.m. here Mountain Time, and you can see it on Fox coming up this Sunday again, as it will be Packers hosting the Denver Broncos. Green Bay is a 7.5-point favorite in this contest at this point in time. Now, as you talked about, Stu, with the Green Bay Packers, that offense a little slow going, having some issues here early on. Same with the Denver Broncos, again, at least now under new quarterback Joe Flacco, having their issues. That Vic Fangio defense has not really got to those standards that Bronco fans have kind of held it up to at this point in time. But what issues do the Broncos kind of possess or pose to the Green Bay Packers coming up this Sunday?
Well, yeah, like you mentioned, Vic Fangio, he was the Bears' defensive coordinator for many years, and always gave the Packers a hard time. Matt LaFleur was on record as saying he thinks Fangio is the best defensive mind in the league right now. That came up again this week, obviously, and with the offense struggling, I would expect a low-scoring game. The Packers' defense has been outstanding, so I think they should give Flacco all he can handle. I know the Broncos are struggling on offense. Of course, they played the Bears last week, and that's a very tough team to score against. I look for a low-scoring game, and I think I know the Broncos are still looking for a pass rush. They're not getting sacks out of their big pass rushers. So I think that'll be key there, putting some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. If you give him all day to throw, obviously he's gonna kill you.
Stu, how long have you been covering the Packers?
I've been covering the Packers. I'm in my 5th year. After many years in Chicago, I covered the Bears for many years.
And again, me being 62, and I'm a fan of the old stadiums. And I remember when the Bears played at Wrigley before they moved on to Soldier Field. But correct me if I'm wrong, with the Raiders leaving out of the Coliseum, going to Vegas, where they were in the Coliseum for about 50 plus years. Lambeau Field is still the longest-running football home for the Green Bay Packers, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I mean they've been there a long time, and Lambeau Field was refurbished back around the early 2000s. Got an overhaul. When you look at it, it's very modern. It's even though it's very historic and it's been around for years, it's been overhauled, remodeled, and it's very, but that's when you're on the outside. When you go inside the stadium, it's still just like it was. It's wooden bleachers, great sight lines. There really are no bad seats in Lambeau, and seats around 73,000 fans when it's full, and it's a cathedral. Yeah, it's really one of those bucket list places where if you love the NFL, you really have to make sure you figure out a way to get to Lambeau Field. And for a road trip, because it's a lot of fun.
Except for December and January, I might pass on that one. It's cold enough here. Hey, Stu, real quick, the last weekend, and again, one of the Packer family passing away earlier this year in Bart Starr, and honoring Bart Starr this past weekend, and Bart's wife was there. Of course, Brett Favre also bringing out Bart's wife to the ceremonies, but a very emotional scene. And again, a lot of Green Bay Packers that passed through those tunnels through the years that are great names. Of course, you always think of Vince Lombardi, and then it just goes right down the list. But very emotional scene this past weekend.
It really was. It was really something to see Brett Favre walking with Cherry Starr, Bart's widow, walking down the tunnel and out to the field where he received a huge ovation. And yeah, there were a lot of Packers alumni on hand, both Sunday and also Saturday at an event, in the Green Bay area. So, Bart's loved. He was beloved here. He's definitely the most popular Packer of all time, and just a great guy. And nothing but stories about what a wonderful person he was. Always took time for fans and anybody wanting an autograph. Always in a good mood, and what he used to do and what he kept doing even after he had some health problems, he kept writing these personal notes to Favre and to Rodgers, whoever was playing quarterback. Bart would always he would always do these handwritten notes during the season, saying, hang in there, keep your chin up, that sort of thing, offering support. That's just the kind of guy he was. He always thought about others, before he thought of himself.
And final thought for me as we get ready to let you go. Packers, last I see here on my line, favored by 7.5. You think they cover the spread this weekend?
As low scoring as it's been, I would go under myself. I think Denver is. They got to be smarting from that loss to the Bears. They've got a lot of talent on that team. I think it could be a tough game if the Packers offense is still trying to find itself. Looks like Jimmy Graham is going to miss the game. Their tight end. He's got a groin issue, so they could be without him. I look for a low-scoring game, and maybe I would pick the Packers to win, but maybe in the 5 to 7 point range. Like I say, I don't think when you got Big Fangio, I don't think that you're going to blow. You're going to get blown out. That Bronco defense has a lot of talent, and I look for a low-scoring battle.
Well, Stu, we want to thank you so much on behalf of my son, Nick Peroetti, across the way. Yours truly, Larry Peroetti. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always nice to talk to other communities that are part of the National Football League. And again, like I said, I've been around for a long time, and I always like to learn a little bit of the history of those places as well, too. Thank you so much, Stu.
Thanks for having me.
Stu Courtney, Packers editor for the USA Today Network. Join us here on 1480 KRAE. Do we need to take a break or we'll keep it here? We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC. Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Well, hour number one flew right by. We go into hour number two. One of our special guests will be joining us in hour number two. The head coach of the East High Thunderbirds, one Chad Goff, as he gets ready for tomorrow night's contest at South High. Our program today, again, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, downtown on KRAE, north side on Yellowstone, right down the road here, going east. You can catch them at Delrange and Ridge. Also, Taco John's at Ridge and Pershing. And load up on a six-pack and a pound. Ooh, yeah, only $11.99 right now. 6 packs of beef tacos along with a pound of potato olays from Taco John's of Cheyenne. Key of Cheyenne, over on Nation Way. 19s need to move. 20s already arriving. AJ says he's going to make you an offer you can't refuse. So take a test drive today and take home the key of your dreams, especially when it's from Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you, the old-fashioned way or the modern technology way. See Rick and the crew over on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange right across from Menards and Powers Field. For a limited time, their frosted caramel coffee. And on the menu right now to enjoy with your chicken sandwich and your waffle fries, how about a bowl of mac and cheese? Yes, whipped up by our good friends over at Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange, where you can eat in or you can use a convenient drive-thru, not one but 2 of them. And again, they're open Monday through Saturday. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, same location as always. G. Barber and the staff invite you to come on by. Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. They're open Monday through Saturday. Lennox Auto Body, Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, on Pershing Boulevard, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. And again, too, over at the Auto and Truck Repair Center, it's factory new when it comes off out of the repair shop. They do a great job, excellent job over at Lennox Auto Body. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where they're offering some fantastic annual percentage yields now on their CDs, but also, too, they are co-sponsors with our friends at the Alzheimer's Organization for the End of Alzheimer Walk, and that'll be coming up on Saturday. Next Saturday, the 28th, that'll be in Lions Park at the South Picnic area. Thank you to Tim and Tad and all the crew over at First Tier Bank. And right across the street, it's Mondello's Pizzeria. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, and Joe Mondello has been preparing delicious Paisan cuisine almost 5 decades now. Again, family recipes, not corporate recipes. And again, if you are a fan like me of all of the pizza over there, you're going to enjoy it always on fresh made dough, fresh ingredients, the sandwiches on fresh baked bread. And again, you like bread with a crunch, I'm guaranteeing you're going to love sandwiches made by Joe Mondello and his staff. And Mondello's Pizzeria, they are located 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. Scoreboard time, it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
LCCC athletic action for this Friday. Again, as all 3 teams will be in action this entire weekend, but looking at Friday specifically for LCCC men's and women's soccer, as they'll travel up to Powell to see Northwest College. At least the women will be out first. They will take on Northwest at 1 p.m. and followed up after that game wraps up. The men will be at least hitting the field. 3 o'clock tentative start time for LCCC, the men's soccer program, as they take on Northwest College. Again, both of those games happening up in Powell, Wyoming. LCCC women's volleyball, they'll be in Torrington, Wyoming coming up this Friday. They will be at least competing in that Wyoming-Nebraska tournament. First contest at 8 a.m. They will see Northeastern Junior College. And the second game on Friday, they will be taking on Colorado Northwestern Community College. That will be a tip-off time at 6 o'clock. They're live at Torrington, Wyoming. Also, too, do want to remind folks coming up here tomorrow on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com is where you can listen to it audio-wise. Visual, as we got that all squared away. And, again, we will test it once again tomorrow to see if it is 100% true. But, again, video-wise, it is on Periscope via Twitter and also to the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel, where we will have Cheyenne South once again this week. Back-to-back games for the South High Fighting Bison there at Fighting Bison Stadium. They will host the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds in at least Week 3 action, Game 4 of 2019. Looking forward to it. Kickoff 6 o'clock. Pre-game here on KRAE, tentative around 5:20-ish. Come on up tomorrow.
All right, let's see what we got here. How about Major League Baseball scores? And we have a bottom of the 5th inning encounter between the Brewers and the Padres matinee at Miller Park, and the Brew Crew lead 3-1. Finals in the books. Bravos have defeated the Phils 5-4 in Cumberland, Georgia. They won 11 innings, and the Mariners in the top of the 11th inning beat the Bucks 6-5 at PNC. Giants lose for the first time in the 4-game series to the Boston Red Sox, as it was the Bo Sox winning 5-4 at Fenway. Giants taking 2 out of 3 in that series. Let's see. Game's getting away here in about 30 minutes. Angels-Yankees from the Bronx. 5 o'clock game will have the Blue Jays and the Orioles, Motor City Kitties of Detroit, and the Indians at Progressive Field. 5:15 Cardinals-Cubs at Wrigley. 5:40 Kansas City and Twins from Target Field on a light day and night in Major League Baseball. To the National Football League around 6:20 Mountain Time, it's Tennessee and the Jacksonville Jaguars from Jacksonville, Florida. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi.
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Perotti, Nick Perotti. Stu Courtney joined us most recently. He was a Packers editor for the USA Today Network. And it was interesting because, again, as I'm older and like to...
As you like to brag about that, apparently.
No, as I'm older, I like to think back. Again, I was a fan of the 49ers when they played at Kezar Stadium. Many, many moons ago.
And they might have to return back there after what recently has developed down there in Santa Clara, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and again, too, made the move from Kezar to Candlestick Park and now to that plush Levi Stadium.
And it's not a bad facility. I've been there twice. And again, Levi's, it is worth the money that they invested into it. It's a technological, at least powerhouse, clearly as they're in Silicon Valley, but again, it doesn't have the feel of Candlestick. Certainly, I've been at Candlestick, and you miss kind of the historic places like that. But again, when you got to move into new digs and enjoy what they have done there at Levi's, it's not bad. And the Coliseum is probably one of the worst examples of a stadium in pro sports that just needs to be gone. But and both of the teams, at least with the Raiders and the A's, have agreed that yes, no longer we play.
And it is the fourth oldest stadium. As a matter of fact, I have a list here of the oldest, old to new stadiums.
But that stadium doesn't have historic value, kind of like a Fenway, like a Wrigley. It's an eyesore at this point.
I agree to disagree because the older Raider teams, the Super Bowl II Raiders with Darryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber, Kenny the Snake Stabler, John Madden teams. It has that history in that Oakland Coliseum.
It doesn't feel like it, though. Again, the Raiders do not address that, at least on the walls and everything.
That's the old Coliseum. When I went there with you and your sister and your mom back in '98, and I looked up there and saw that it looked more like a mausoleum than it looked like the Coliseum because they had built all those green sky boxes.
I guess.
Well, anyway,
but either way, this is also to a stadium that outside of Raider games for A's games, they tarp off that upper deck.
Yeah,
it's not a good venue.
And
obviously both teams have realized that they need to get the hell out of there. Obviously, Raiders moving to that $1 billion stadium in Vegas, and the A's have already, at least they're attempting to break ground here soon for their new downtown at least ballpark, which anticipated for a 2022, I do believe, is when the A's will be moving to that new facility.
Well, and again, going back to these facilities, and you look at like the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Well, it's had occupants and then they left. The Rams were there, they left. Then they went to Anaheim. Then you had the Raiders in there, they left. Then the Rams come back, and then they're going to be leaving again.
Yeah.
The Coliseum was built in 1923. Soldier Field in 1924, which has been refurbished. But again,
I was gonna say,
the Bears didn't come in there until the second generation Bears. I think it was like about 1970.
But even where Soldier Field stands, and taking the tour of that when I was last out in Chicago, of that facility and just the history behind it, that has respectable history of what was held there in Chicago at that stadium. Again, Coliseum doesn't feel like it has that. Wrigley does. Fenway
Coliseum
does.
is the Summer Olympics. That's what you think of. You think of the whatever games they had there, but you also think of the '84 games too.
I could think of Atlanta holding Olympics. I could think of Salt Lake City holding Olympics before I would think of the Coliseum having that, or at least if you're talking the LA Coliseum. That's obviously what it stands for, but right now it is the home of USC Trojans at this point in time.
But going back to when we were talking with Stu, Lambeau Field is technically the oldest football stadium around. It came to play in 1957. So, again, that's why I said it because of my birth year. But
well, again, you're also talking about a Packers team that is one of the oldest franchises in all of NFL.
Absolutely. So, again, and then, like he said, they did some refurbishing. But when you go inside Lambeau Field, and everybody that is a season ticket holder is a stockholder of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
You are given stock into the Packers. But the Oakland Coliseum, believe it or not, was the first open. Not when the A's came there because they were still in Kansas City. The Raiders first occupied the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum back in 1966. So without them leaving for the few years, that stadium has been in business for about 53 years now.
And it needs to go away.
Unfortunately, it needs to be bulldozed over.
That's one of those historic places that it has no value. It needs to be gone. And again, once the A's move out here in a few seasons, there's nothing there for, at least in that kind of south area of Oakland. Oracle is now an afterthought for the Golden State Warriors after, again, they will now occupy the Chase Center coming up this season. Raiders have already said, hey, we're committed to Vegas. And, again, the A's have already said, hey, they try to work with Mayor Libby Schaff of saying, let us just buy up this property so we can do whatever with it. But for whatever reason, the Oakland City Council kind of fought back.
It's like when you talk to Libby Schaff, it's like, hello, McFly. I mean, she's like –
well, again, it seems like it's the same with what's happening down in Santa Clara, or at least in the San Jose area with the 49ers, where a recent vote came up, I do believe yesterday or a few days ago, basically saying that the 49ers, the city council basically decided to vote in favor of, hey, 49ers, you no longer control Levi Stadium. It is no longer your stadium that you own. It is now the city's stadium where they will now handle events. It was a controversy, I guess, with the Rolling Stones being in town, a concert back in, I do believe, in mid-August, late August there at Levi's. Rolling Stones, at least a lot of the band members and also do personnel, just had issues with how things were coordinated for that event. So that was kind of the trickle-down effect that now the city of Santa Clara is now fighting the 49ers in that brand new stadium.
And unfortunately for the Yorks, especially Jed now, they're not going to take that line down.
No.
They feel they own it.
Well, again, outside,
they own the stadium.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it is branded a 49ers. It's ingrained on every single aspect of that stadium. You are reminded that, yes, it is the home of the 49ers, but it now brings up that debate as we're talking about just new homes. Will the 49ers now look to go back to San Francisco? Granted, is there a whole lot of options out there? Is there land? Not really. Not really, especially where you're talking Hunters
Point. Bear, no.
Yeah, Hunters Point that just got recently developed with new, again, former home to at least with Candlestick Park.
And they're not going to share with Oracle. They won't share. Kezar Stadium, no, that's dilapidated. You won't even go there.
Unless you bowl over at least the Cow Palace and find a way to just buy a property there.
No. Anyway, just wrapping up here real quick. Three other stadiums are technically elderly. Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City. That opened up in 1972. Now, it's gone through some changes.
It's been improved upon, like Lambeau.
How about New Era Field, home of the Buffalo Bills? That originally was Ralph Wilson Stadium.
That's a bizarre stadium where it's built, at least a portion of it's built underground, apparently. It's just... It's nothing too spectacular.
Well, and again, it has not aged very well.
No.
Matter of fact, the NFL is pushing the Bills to pursue a new stadium, but looking at this another way, New Era Field is a very old school with fans braving the elements to see the Bills in action. And then, last but not least, from the 70s, 1975, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where the New Orleans Saints are home. That is the second dome home in NFL history. The Astrodome was the first. And the Mercedes-Benz Superdome is a major venue in sports world. Let's see, it hosts the Saints, The Superdome hosts major college bowls, Super Bowls.
But monies have been at least dished out into that dome compared to like the Houston Astrodome.
Piles of money on the Superdome.
Again, when you have big-time bowls that are getting at least underway out there, again, I do believe the Sugar Bowl happening there.
But before
college national playoff.
Before the Saints occupied the Superdome, then that was built especially for New Orleans. They used to play at Tulane Stadium when they first came into play back in 1967. Other stadiums that are, of today, modern era, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, 87. Everbank Field, the Jags in 95. I mean, listen how these things, start getting younger here. Bank of America Stadium, Carolina, 1996. FedEx Field, 1997. They did play at RFK Stadium for the longest time, the Washington Redskins. MT Bank Stadium for the Ravens, 98. Raymond James Buccaneers, 98. Browns at First Energy Stadium, 99. Nissan Stadium, 99. 2000 Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati. Of course, they were in Riverfront Stadium for the longest time.
They're not anymore.
Heinz Field, 2001, where the Steelers play. I'm trying to think of where they used to. I can't remember. Now it's called Empower Field at Mile High. That was built in 2001.
On and on and on, yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying, Empower Field, half of it's new and half of it's still some of the old.
But either way,
Mile High.
it's kind of the same vein of baseball, where you're seeing a lot of newer venues than the old school. Again, it's hard to believe that Coors Field is one of the more ancient ballparks, along with the historic value.
Look here, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Falcons, 2 years old. U.S. Bank Stadium, Vikings, 3 years old. Levi's is 5 years old already. MetLife Stadium, the Giants, Jets, 2010. AT&T Stadium for the Cowboys, 2009. So I'm just throwing that out. I am a fan of the old birds. And again, Lambeau Field, if we think back to the Ice Bowl between the Packers and the Cowboys, that stadium still has that feel of the Ice Bowl.
I get that. Historic
50 some years ago.
Like Lambeau, like Soldier Field, like, again, Fenway, same vein of Wrigley. Again, some of those old venues, they need to exist because they have that historic value. It's something that's special. It's something that is the last of the at least kind of test of time.
The Titans. Yeah, I got you.
It's something that, outside of it, though, again, Coors Field, will it last for as long? Will it be one of those live on forever kind of venues? No, I think the Rockies, if not, they're probably already looking into what they could do down there in Lodo to improve or at least build a brand new ballpark, even though they've made additions to it. It's something that, obviously teams are looking into how do you fit more people in the stands, how do you make it more accessible, how do you make it more fan-friendly, upgrading concessions, upgrading seats, again, making at least most bang for your buck, so to speak. That's all it is. It's the reason why we got $1 billion Vegas stadium with the Raiders. You're pushing $1 billion with Levi Stadium, MetLife, all these big, meccas that are being built in the NFL.
In about 10 years, everybody gets bored with it and they want to move.
And hell, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see what happens if the XFL does at least flourish. Who says that? Again, they don't look into building new ballparks for that specific league because, again, they're just technically renting.
You got to find land. That's the premium.
I'm just saying right now, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL allow the XFL to continue
at Raymond James?
Yeah, what they're doing right now for that Tampa Bay franchise. We'll see. Again, it'll be interesting to see how pro sports.
But there's always colleges available too, where you can rent out stadiums. So
yeah, but I think if the XFL, where they're trying to go at and try to be competitive with the NFL, they're not going to allow that. They want those home stadiums.
I agree. All right, we do need to take a timeout. When we come back, we had a chance to catch up with Cheyenne East head coach Chad Goff of the Thunderbirds as they prepare for the South High Fighting Bison, our featured game tomorrow evening. Also, we still have to come our Week 3 picks from the National Football League. But on deck, Chad Goff.
Well, college as well, too.
Well, that, too. Both. We got college and the NFL coming up. But on deck, Chad Goff after these words.
Up into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Family-owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to check out the fabulous fall tree and shrub sale going on now. You'll find savings from 25 to 50% off. And believe it or not, this is a great time to plant your trees and shrubs. The ground temperature is still warm, even though the outdoor temperatures are cooling down. Riverbend also has fall plant care items for you to select from, including rose collars, mulch, tree wrap, Jordan's winterizer, and much more. Also check out the nice selection of fall mums and pansies. Serving our area since 1977 with the best materials to help you grow them hardy and healthy. Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, now open Monday through Saturday, closed Sundays on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne.
Get the ultimate six-pack. With a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's, 6 seasoned beef tacos and a pound of potato olays. Get them gains. A deal this good means you'll never want to skip six-pack and a pound day. Craver Savers. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
6 seasoned beef tacos and a whole pound of potato olays for just $11.99.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 79. And for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 50. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 76. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 43.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Right now, we talk with our opposing coach for this weekend, that being Cheyenne East head coach Chad Goff. Coach, unfortunately, in my profession, got to ask the question, what happened last week against Thunder Basin? It's almost like you just had them on the ropes, but you couldn't put them away.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors, little things, dropped catches, not being able to convert 2 3rd and 1s. I think we just kind of ran out of gas, and that's on me and getting those kids in better shape.
But the one thing it did prove to your kids, and again, you think back to last season when you were at Thunder Basin, I mean, they pushed you around. They came to your house, and it was a little different this year.
Yeah, I think our kids competed well. Kind of got the eyes wide open out of their mind and just played and did some really good things at times, and just kind of didn't make plays when plays needed to be made at the end of the game.
What have you seen? Again, we're only 3 games into the season thus far, but what are the things that you're seeing from your team that brings a smile to your face?
One is just how they're good kids to each other. They treat others well. They're nice to other people in the school. They're just a good group of kids. I like how offensively they're growing so much and being able to do multiple different things. And then defensively, I just think we're getting better each week with understanding our coverages and where we're supposed to be. And so I just think they're a group of kids that doesn't mind working hard and putting in the time to get better.
And then on the other side of the coin, you go to the chalkboard and you say, hey, guys, we got to work on this. What?
Well, one was the conditioning factor. We told them this week, when we're conditioned, you need to push a little bit harder than you pushed. The other things are, again, like we preached all last week. I think we got away with some things the first couple of weeks that we as coaches talked about to the kids and said, we're not going to get away with that against better teams, and it caught up to us. Just the little things like catching the ball every time and making sure we're blocking for the running back every time, and just little things that taking the right steps, just things that caught up to us that we knew was going to happen if we didn't focus on them.
Coach, you've been in this business for a long time, and again, you have Cheyenne South on the schedule for Friday evening at Fightin' Bison Stadium, and you never take anything for granted. But to the young men on your team, how do you profess to them, hey, guys, it may be a team that's 0-3, but we can't take anything for granted?
Well, one thing I think you do is you use the past. You talk about the past, and there for a long time it was so hard to prepare for that game, and it just got little by little worse and worse each year, and then we lost in 2016, and then even last year, they came out, and I thought they made the first big hit. We caught the ball, and they lowered their shoulders and rocked us, and they set the tone a little bit, and we had to fight back. And so, like you said, you can't overlook anybody. They're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids just like we are. They put their pants on the same way, and so you got to make sure that you show up and you're ready to play.
We always call these type of games dangerous games, especially when you have to go to their place. Do you, as a head coach, and again, you've looked at them on film, sometimes as a head coach, do you expect the unexpected from your opposing coach?
Yeah, I can tell you this. I know we'll get their best game. We always get everyone's best game in town here, and so that's what we told the kids. They're going to play better than they played all year on Friday night, so you better be ready to rock and roll. And so doing what they do, the system that they run, it would be hard to change too much, but we do, in our scout card write-ups, we do add extra things that we may or may not have seen them do so that we are ready for that type of situation.
And final thought, Coach, and do appreciate you joining us here on our pregame show. But let me ask you this question. As you approach your fourth weekend of football, again, it's called Week 3, but as you approach your fourth weekend, has the entire playbook been put in, or do you still each week find something else that you can add to make that offense even more dangerous?
Yeah, I don't think we're close to having the entire thing in. There's different personnel packages and stuff that we still want to get to. We're just trying to perfect what we're doing right now. But there are other things that once we get those things perfected, introducing the other personnel and stuff like that will be a whole lot easier.
That's Cheyenne East head coach Chad Goff. We'll be back with more after this timeout on 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Relieve your stress. I'm A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. With a new Kia vehicle, you get one of the best warranties in America. The new 2019 Kia Sorento comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. 2019 Kia Sorento gives you up to 122 cubic feet of cargo space, 7-passenger seating, available all-wheel drive, and wireless charging for your devices. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or a retailer for details.
The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proetti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-0498. First Tier Bank is proud to team up again with the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. You're invited to join and participate in the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer event on Saturday, September 28th. Registration begins at 10:30 in the morning at Lions Park at the South Picnic Shelter. For more information, contact Janet Lewis at 307-287-6569 or go online to alz.org/walk to learn more. We'll see you Saturday, September 28th at Lions Park for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, brought to you by the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association and First Tier Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. The team at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, are proud sponsors of the student-athletes for the 2019-2020 school year for high school and LCCC. Not only do they support the athletes, but they are ready for your next cater-out event, meeting, or gathering. A special thank you to Chick-fil-A and all they do for 1480 KRAE and our sister station KYOI-FM during the year. For more information, call Chick-fil-A at 638-4444.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome once again to Wyoming Sports Talk Today as we now venture into the, well, I guess we can call it the home stretch of our program. And here it is already Thursday afternoon.
It's 4:30, you go home stretch. I would think so when we got 26 minutes.
Well, yeah, but you know, sometimes you can round the clubhouse turn as well. But bottom line, we're into the home stretch. And on Thursdays, we do our picks for the National Football League and for collegiate football as well. So,
granted, we've also done NHL, NBA, but it's pretty much games that pique my interest, games that we pick against the spread. If there is no spread, it's just a straight pick 'em. So
five games that you picked.
5 games, so it kind of keeps things simple on the standing side of thing, where I think you have a 1-game lead, but I'm 500, you're 1 game above. So again, as we flip-flopped, I think I went 2-3, you went 3-2 again. So that's where we kind of stand at. Or I do believe you went 3-2.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know either way.
Ahead.
It don't matter. Again, you're ahead for now. But we all know who's going to win.
I have a feeling I'll probably slip up this weekend because these are tough picks. These are real tough.
That's why I go with them. Either way, though, we pick 5 games, or at least I do. My choosing more on the at least collegiate side of things, and also to NFL. With the college games that we do pick on, I do have 3 facts as well to at least sway our answers, and again, those who are playing at home along with us to kind of help them decide of what they want to go with their picks as well. But we'll start with game 1, as it is week 3 of our picks. Week 1, or at least game 1, I should say. Friday's contest coming up at least tomorrow night. This is a big one for the Mountain West Conference, as it is the Air Force Falcons, who are 2-0. They will be at number 20, Boise State. The Broncos, who are 3-0. This will be at Albertson Stadium there on the blue turf in Boise, Idaho. 7 p.m. is where, at least the time when it's kicking off. ESPN2 is where you can watch this contest. Now, Boise State, the Broncs, they are a 7-point favorite heading into this contest at this point in time. Now, Boise State has won 19 consecutive conference openers since a loss in 1999. The Broncos have won each of the last 2 meetings after dropping 3 straight from 2014 to 2016 against the Air Force Falcons. And the Broncos lead the all-time series with Air Force 4-3, including a 3-1 mark at home. So with that all being said, again, undefeated here in the Mountain West Conference. It is in Boise. Again, a tough venue to at least win on, but it is possible. We have seen teams upset Boise there on the blue turf. But again, 19 consecutive conference openers at least have been victories for the Boise State Broncos. They lead the series 4-3, including a 3-1 mark at home. So I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, if this would have been at Falcon Stadium and Boise State was given 7 points, I would have took Air Force. But it's on the Smurf turf, and very few teams win in Boise, Idaho. I think even though the Falcons are coming off a big win against the Buffaloes, Broncos are good. There's just no doubt about it. Again, another reload season for Boise State at home on the Smurf turf. They cover the spread.
I have a hard time believing that, especially where we've seen Boise struggle at home this season. Again, look at close contests that they've already had. Air Force, a talented team coming in, team that has loads of momentum, at least in this contest coming up on Friday. Friday is usually that Mountain West date where wacky things, upsets do happen, and we've seen it many a time in the Mountain West Conference. I think Air Force, as even Pat alluded to when we talked with him in the 3 o'clock hour, you got to respect this Air Force team. They are for real, and they proved that to me last week, at least beating Colorado in Boulder. So I'm going to say Air Force gets the upset win in Boise in this contest. I think the Falcons are for real, and I think this is going to be that statement game that kind of ripples throughout the Mountain West Conference of, whoa, this team is legit.
And I'd probably agree with you. I wouldn't be shocked that Air Force wins. I just think Boise State wins, if they do win, 28-20. They'll cover it barely.
And that's a good possibility. Again, Boise has been in many close games so far, especially you look back to where they were their first contest there in Boise, sneaking out a very close win. So something just tells me that Air Force, that Friday, just oddball day, it's going to be something special for the Falcons, and I think they'll get the victory. You go with the Boise State Broncos to cover that 7-point at least spread. So we differentiate on that one. Saturday's contest, game 2 for our Week 3 picks. It will be the Wyoming Cowboys, who are 3-0 on the season. They'll be at the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. They are 1-2 on the season. This will be at Chapman Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 1:30 kickoff on CBS Sports Network is where you can watch that game if you're not heading down to Oklahoma for this one. Tulsa at home, they are 3.5-point favorite in this contest. Now with this game, the Wyoming Cowboys lead this series 3-2. The Cowboys won the first 3 meetings of the series, while Tulsa has won the last 2 games. But again, the last at least contest this was played, it was quite some time ago when both teams were part of the Western Athletic Conference. Wyoming has won its 3 games by a 5-point margin, while Tulsa has won its 2 games by a margin of 32 points per game. That's talking about those head-to-head matchups. So when Wyoming wins, they're winning just slightly, on average about 5 points. Tulsa, when they win, it's by 32. Tulsa has passed for an average of 224.5 yards per game, and you look for the Wyoming Cowboys, where Wyoming has allowed 342.3 passing yards to rank 128th in the nation. So with that all being said, again, Tulsa at home, 3.5-point favorite. They are 1-2 on the season. Cowboys undefeated, 3-0. You went first, I'll go on this one. I say Cowboys continue the streak. They go 4-0. I don't think it's another close game, but I think Cowboys find a way in that second half to come back. They'll probably dig themselves a hole in that first quarter, I think, without a doubt. But Tulsa doesn't impress me to put up 20 points or, again, a large lead that the Cowboys can't come back from. I don't believe that. I think Cowboys will struggle in that first half, without a doubt, as we've seen in the past 3 games. But I think that second half or maybe second quarter, things start getting in motion. Cowboys figure out things, and they win this game on the road. I think Cowboys will be 4-0.
Well, we're going to agree on picking the Cowboys. Again, I probably had this penciled in as a loss 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the Hurricanes, again, they've come out against a couple of tough foes, most recently Oklahoma State. They're in Chapman Stadium. Cowboys
going to be warm and humid again, but they've already dealt with it in San Marcos.
And again, Tulsa's 3.5-point favorites. This one actually should be a pick'em game because I'm just not all convinced. You threw out all that stats, but these two teams haven't played since like 1998. If the Cowboys continue to run the football, then they're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to agree with you. I think the Cowboys actually win the game. So they will obviously cover the spread.
Cowboys do lead the series 3-2. So, again, when they were battling back in the Western Athletic Conference, so that's just being said for the history of these two. Game number 3, so, again, we'll agree on that. We're both going with the Wyoming Cowboys. Game 3 of our Week 3 picks still on Saturday. It will be a big one between number 7 Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. As they are 2-0 on the season, they'll be at number 3 Georgia Bulldogs, who are 3-0. This game being played at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. 6 p.m. kickoff on CBS is where you can watch this game. Georgia, the Bulldogs, 14.5-point favorites at home against Notre Dame. Now, in this contest, the last time Georgia played host to a top 10 matchup came in 2013 when 9th-ranked Georgia outlasted 6th-ranked LSU 44-41. So it's been quite some time since Georgia has at least hosted a top 10 matchup like this. Georgia has won 15 straight games at home dating back to 2017, and Georgia does own a 2-0 edge in the series with Notre Dame. With that being said, again, Georgia 14.5-point favorites at home. They are number 3 ranked, taking on number 7 ranked Notre Dame.
I've got to go, and the reason I have to go with the Fighting Irish in this one, if they are a top 10 team, they have to prove it to me this weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't think they necessarily win at Georgia, but I would like to see them keep it close. I think 14.5 points for the Dogs might be just a little too much. I think they might be a 10-point better team than the Fighting Irish, but stranger things to happen. They might kick the snot out of the Fighting Irish. But I want to see Notre Dame one more weekend, and let's see if they can. If they cover the spread, then I know they're for real.
All right, so you're going with who again?
Notre Dame.
You're going with the Fighting Irish on the road. And that's, are you saying to win or just?
I say they cover the spread.
They cover the spread, not to win. All right. So with that being said, again, you look at Notre Dame at this point in time. There are 2 contests on the road against Louisville, 35-17 victors in that one, 66 points as they put up against New Mexico at home last weekend. As New Mexico put up 14 points. Again, the first true test for Notre Dame coming up. This one is a tough one to pick. Again, that spread is so alarming to me that the Bulldogs at home are 14.5-point favorites. But I go with history. I go with what's on the side of the Georgia Bulldogs. I'll take those points, and I'll go with Georgia to probably thump Notre Dame and say, hey, try again next year. You don't do it here in Athens, Georgia. You don't do it in SEC, at least territory. I think Georgia, yes, this is that statement win of, hey, we are legit. We are aiming for that national championship, and I think they get it done. So, again, I'll take Georgia. I'll take that 14.5. I think it will be a pretty solid win for the Bulldogs coming up. So at least with that being said, is you got nothing else to add on to that?
No, Georgia, like I said,
you go Notre Dame, I go Georgia.
Yeah, Notre Dame has to prove to me this weekend that they are a legit top team.
I don't think they will. Notre Dame finds a way to slip up in games like this, and I think they will. It's a good possibility, so we'll disagree on that one. Game 4 is we'll move to Sunday. This is now NFL action, as we'll see, or at least the Game 4 for our Week 3 picks, it will be the Baltimore Ravens 2-0. They will be at the Kansas City Chiefs. They are also 2-0. This game at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. 11 a.m. kickoff on CBS. The Chiefs at home, 6.5-point favorites in this contest. Battle of the unbeaten's, battle of 2 teams that could be moving on. Could be a possibility of AFC championship, at least a contest that we see later down the road, possibly. But with that all being said, you can't deny Patrick Mahomes. You can't deny that offense of how high-powered it is. As much as Baltimore has been high-powered as well, I think Kansas City is by far the best team in the league. They're going to prove it once again coming up this Sunday. Kansas City, that 6.5, yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs.
And I'm going to take Baltimore. And, again, do I believe the Chiefs win? Yeah, I do. Mahomes and Jackson, this is going to be quite the matchup. This is not Mahomes and Carr, okay? Jackson's more mobile. So the offense will be able to move on Kansas City. And again, too, Baltimore has been famous for their defenses over the years. So is the game going to be close? I think so. I wouldn't be shocked if this game wraps up about 28-24, and that way I would cover the spread. I think Baltimore is for real. I think they're going to win that South Division. There's really no competition.
I just don't disrespect that Kansas City offense. And again, you look at who the Ravens has at least played in their first two contests. Again, you win on the road against Miami. You beat them up 59-10. Not a true test on either side, if anything.
Was Oakland a test last week? No.
Possibly. Again, it's always tough to battle those in, at least, in division, at least, opponents, but it's not a good litmus test. Yes, I get that, but again, for the Ravens, the 2-0 it might be a friendly 2-0 because again, you look at their other at least last contest at home against the Cardinals where they struggled against Arizona.
Well, the Ravens
they still got the win 23-17.
And the Ravens got to prove to me that they're legit with Jackson. And
I don't think they will. This is not going to happen against Kansas City.
I think they can. And again, too, if the game is a low-scoring game, that's the way the Ravens like it. So if they could shut down somewhat of Mahomes and Kelsey, and keep it close, I don't think they win necessarily at Arrowhead, but I think they can beat the spread. I'm going to go with Baltimore.
All right, and I'll go with Kansas City on that one, so we'll at least disagree on that contest. And the final game number 5 of our Week 3 picks, staying on Sunday, where it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 0-2, without Big Ben, as he is out for the rest of the season. They will be at San Francisco 49ers, who are undefeated, 2-0. This game happening at Levi Stadium there in Santa Clara, California. 2:25 kickoff on CBS is where you can watch this contest. 49ers at home, also 6.5-point favorites in this game.
Oh, Big Ben's out. So there's a touchdown right there in favor of the 49ers.
Steelers who have struggled.
The defense has not been impressive. The Niners have been able to move the football up and down. They do have a couple of injuries, though, that really are – I don't think it's going to come back and haunt them.
Not really.
But, this is a young team mixed with some good veterans. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Again, they got a lot of problems.
A Steelers team that lost 33-3 Week 1 at New England.
They got
at home, losing by 2 points to the Seattle Seahawks, who I think are talent-wise below the 49ers at this point in time. Yeah, now without Big Ben on your roster, again, the guy that could be somewhat of a saving grace, or at least a guy who knows how to win, at least when he has weapons and he has targets out there on the field for the Steelers. But now without him, 49ers at home, where we're seeing right now Jimmy G kind of get comfortable. You're seeing 8-2 as a 49er starter. At home in Levi's, team that's been on the road for the first couple, at least, contests, going to be hungry to be at least getting some home cooking. Yeah, 49ers 6.5. I'll gladly take that. I think, this might get ugly.
And where you agree or disagree with me, Big Ben's leadership, and again, he has been that mark for the Pittsburgh Steelers for a long, long time. His leadership is not going to be on the field, and again, every time they have rolled with somebody else, it's been disaster for the Steelers. Yeah. And unfortunately, it takes their backups, a couple, 3 weeks just to get comfortable back there. There's going to be a lot of pressure running that Steelers offense.
Yeah.
And guess what? When you've got that much pressure on you, you make a lot of mistakes. So I think the 49ers win this. I'm hoping. Again, I hope they win this one going away.
This is a 49ers team that offense is starting to trend upwards. Their defense as well, as we saw in the Tampa Bay contest, getting more sacks than they did in the entire 2018 campaign. This is a team on both sides of the ball that's improving, that is going to show their might here against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are vastly down and out.
And again, too, let's give the Steelers somewhat of a pat on the back. Mason Rudolph, he's not one of these, what do I call them? Guys that pack a suitcase and go from team to team. I mean, he was drafted by the Steelers. 3rd round in 2018, 6'5", 235, and they threw the football at Oklahoma State. So he knows how to pass the football, but I think...
Could it be a Sean Chambers issue of, and obviously coaching ranks are a little bit different than collegiate to pro, but could it be a situation of, is he that comfortable with the offense? Is it something that, will it be a struggle for him in this, at least his first game out there trotting out on the field? We'll see.
Like I said, I think
this is not a good, at least, first contest for him to get out there.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, and again, sometimes for these younger guys, and again, it's no knock against him, but you're quarterbacking a team that is currently 0-2, and like Pat Graham said earlier,
they were 0-2 with Big Ben on that roster.
Yeah, but like Pat Graham said earlier, when you're 0-3, it's going to be very, very difficult to try to make it to the playoffs. And
again,
Pittsburgh
was not anticipated to make it to the playoffs this year. Again, we're already seeing that in the AFC North. Who knows with Cleveland at that point in time? We know Bengals are going to be terrible, but Baltimore looks like they've solidified that North, possibly. Again, question mark is the Cleveland Browns, but it's those two teams and the rest, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, they're not doing anything. We're not anticipated to do anything.
Well, like I said, I think there's just going to be way too much pressure on one Mason Rudolph, and he will fold a little bit under the pressure. Like I said, actually the 49ers win this one going away for a change.
All right, so we'll at least recap game one between Air Force and Boise. You go Boise, I go with the Air Force Falcons. Wyoming versus at least Tulsa. We both agree with the Wyoming Cowboys. Game 3 with Georgia hosting Notre Dame. I do believe in that one. You went with the Fighting Irish. I go with the Georgia Bulldogs. Game 4, Baltimore and Kansas City. You go Ravens. I go Chiefs. And Pittsburgh versus San Francisco, at least to round out our Week 3 picks, we both agree with the 49ers.
So we disagree on 3 of them.
Yeah.
For this weekend. And we'll see how they all pan out here coming up on.
Which we will, again, as you can see those updated stands online on our website, 1480krae.com/YOTalk is where you go. That will get you to the homepage for Wyoming Sports Talk today. On the sidebar, it will say weekly picks and standings. That's where you go for the updating, at least weekly picks, see how we did, see where we do stand, all that fun stuff. Again, at 1480krae.com/YO, at least YOTalk, that's where it's at.
Do we have any more breaks left?
Sure.
Well, that's what I need. I need a break here so I can grab a splash, and then we'll tell you what's coming up for this evening. We're back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Family-owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to check out the fabulous fall tree and shrub sale going on now. You'll find savings from 25 to 50% off. And believe it or not, this is a great time to plant your trees and shrubs. The ground temperature is still warm, even though the outdoor temperatures are cooling down. Riverbend also has fall plant care items for you to select from, including rose collars, mulch, tree wrap, Jernan's winterizer, and much more. Also check out the nice selection of fall mums and pansies. Serving our area since 1977 with the best materials to help you grow them hardy and healthy. Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, now open Monday through Saturday, closed Sundays on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne.
Get the ultimate six-pack. With a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's, 6 seasoned beef tacos and a pound of potato olays. Get them gains. A deal this good means you'll never want to skip six-pack and a pound day. Craver Savers. Crunching. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
6 seasoned beef tacos and a whole pound of potato olays for just $11.99.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 79. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 50. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 76. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 43.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We thank you for joining us this week. I want to remind you, coming up next week, it will be Wyoming versus UNLV, and I do believe we'll have some tickets that will be given away once again.
Of course, and it's the whiteout theme as well, which kind of was questionable on that decision, especially where UNLV, they'll be wearing white. We'll see what the jersey is, but again, it's a whiteout.
Well, they'll make them wear their red ones. They'll make them wear their home jerseys.
Probably, I would assume so. Yeah. Who knows? But either way, yes, UNLV coming to Laramie coming up next weekend. So we'll get into that one. We'll also
I don't say, but it's going to be a big weekend for the Cowboys, especially in Tulsa. If they can pull that victory off, we had 26,000 change for Missouri, had 28,000 for Idaho. The crowds will continue to stay steady
as long as they keep winning. Yeah.
All right, we want to remind you our